In the carefully staged calm of Windsor's private walled garden, the moment was brief, but its optics were loud. As the king and president stood nearby, Queen Camilla and the First Lady appeared deep in conversation on the stone steps. Then the Princess of Wales approached. Melania Trump pivoted instantly toward Kate. Cutting short the exchange with Camilla, Kate broke from William and moved straight to the First Lady. The two women launched into an animated, smiling dialogue, with Camilla briefly left looking on. A small social switch, perhaps, a big headline, certainly, on a day meant to showcase seamless protocol during the Trumps' historic second state visit. For the palace, the scene lands at a delicate time. This visit carries unusual weight, the second full state welcome for the same American principle, heavy with symbolism about the special relationship. Every frame is managed for message discipline. Which is why a spontaneous realignment on a staircase, however courteous in intent, invites interpretation. Was it simply two high-profile women greeting one another promptly? Or did it underline what the Trump camp had signaled in advance, that Kate would be front and center throughout the trip? Either way, the cameras drank it in. The setting mattered. The walled garden at Windsor, usually a refuge of quiet formality, became a theater of micro-gestures. Eyes turned, feet angled, hands extended a fraction sooner than expected. Camilla, 78, had been making up for an absence the day before, when ill health forced her to miss the Duchess of Kent's funeral. She arrived today in a vibrant sapphire blue dress, with matching Fiona Clare coat, and Philip Tracy hat, anchored by a sapphire diamond brooch. The confident, unmistakable palette against the early autumn light. The First Lady, 55, chose a Christian Dior haute couture dark grey skirt suit, the waist flaring into a classic mid-century silhouette, a wide-brim purple wool hat tilting the look toward couture drama. Kate, in a new calf-length Amelia Wickstead coat dress, balanced ceremony and modernity, a Jane Taylor hat framed her newly blonde hair, worn in loose waves. The detail that pricked royal watchers' ears, however, was the jewelry, the diamond and emerald feather brooch once worn by Diana. It is a quiet statement that never fails to speak. What happened on the steps unfolded quickly. Melania, mid-conversation with Camilla, clocked Kate's approach and redirected in one smooth movement. Kate mirrored the pivot, leaving William astride behind as she reached the First Lady. Their talk, lively and tactile, ran on for several beats. Camilla stood just off axis, poised and expression-controlled, before the group recomposed itself. No rule was broken, visiting spouses gravitate to each other at these things, but the sequence scrambled an unspoken order, queen-to-queen equivalent first, then others. Etiquette connoisseurs will argue both sides for days, television producers won't wait that long. The clip has all the ingredients of a viral loop, a clear setting, a visible pivot, and three women whose every micromovement is read as text. Context only sharpens the image. Ahead of the visit, a Trump spokesperson had publicly celebrated Kate's prominent role on the itinerary, a line that played well in the US and guaranteed British headlines. Earlier, William and Kate had escorted the presidential couple to Victoria House to meet the King and Queen, emphasizing the Wales's operational centrality. Kate's steady return to public life while in remission has layered her appearances with a sense of resilience. The palace, mindful of overexposure, has nonetheless placed her at the heart of the optics for this trip. Melania's team, veterans of high-stakes staging, know exactly what warm, extended contact with the Princess of Wales transmits: glamour, continuity, and a transatlantic cultural handshake that softens political edges. Clothing diplomacy did the rest. Camilla's sapphire suite, dress, coat, and hat projected institutional ballast and continuity. It flatters staterooms and withstands long-lens scrutiny. Kate's Wickstead silhouette, pleated and calf-length, nodded to her long partnership with the New Zealand-born designer. The princess has worn Wickstead across key moments for over a decade, Cycling through forest green at the St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2012, pastel blue for Easter at St. George's Chapel in 2022, and coral for a Buckingham Palace garden party that same year. Today's version reads newer, lighter, and deliberately photographic. A dress designed to flow in motion while staying crisp in stills. Accessories told their own story. The deep wine-colored Chanel classic flap, dainty ruby earrings, and dark brown suede pumps from John Vito Rossi, a brand Kate returns to for its reliable line and camera-friendly profile. For the First Lady, Dior's sculpted grey, and a brighter purple, hat created elegant contrast against Windsor's stone, an editorial pairing that stands out without shouting. If wardrobe is the score, body language is the choreography. Melania's pivot toward Kate was respectful, even gracious. Kate's quick step to meet her readers' warmth and intent. Camilla's pause, the half-beat of distance before reforming the group, reads differently depending on the viewer, to some, proof of her composure, to others an awkward interval that let a narrative slip in, that the Princess of Wales is, for this visit, the gravitational center of the female tableau. The truth may be simpler. 3 senior women navigating a narrow landing with a press pack trained on their faces. But state visits are made of such moments. Protocol purists will note that there was no constitutional impropriety. The king is host-in-chief, the queen, consort, the Princess of Wales, future queen, the First Lady, spouse of the visiting head of state. In modern practice, the women's interactions flex to the flow of the engagement. Still, the order of greetings often reflects intentional choreography. When the choreography breaks, even elegantly, interpreters rush in. Today, the interpreter is the camera, and social media supplies the captions. Beyond the clip, the Wales Trump microdynamic is not accidental. Team Trump's on-record enthusiasm about Kate's visibility telegraphed an intent to lean into her global popularity. For the palace, giving the Princess of Wales a prominent role foregrounds generational continuity, subtly bridging Queen Elizabeth's memory with the current reign and its future. For the King and Queen, continuity is the message. For the government, alliance is. For the visitors, warmth and spectacle are. The staircase moment touched all 3 agendas at once, which is why it travels. The backstory adds more layers. Camilla's enforced absence from the Duchess of Kent's funeral gave today an additional burden of presence, a need to appear restored, steady, and in command of her role. She met the moment sartorially and in bearing. Yet the day's signature image belongs to the princess. It is not the first time a Diana-coded jewel has threaded old emotion into new footage, and it won't be the last. The emerald and diamond feather brooch acts like a magnet for lenses and memory. Under soft Windsor light, it invites the public to connect what they are seeing with what they remember. Elsewhere in the garden, the tableau of 4, Donald, Melania, William, Kate, moved through the gravel paths with the easy choreography of veteran principals. Melania's heels were sure, Kate's pace, unhurried, William's body line, slightly protective at Melania's shoulder, the president, at ease, clipping the stride length by a fraction in confined space. These reads matter, because state visits balance on the knife edge between theater and diplomacy. The theater must relax viewers into the idea of friendship. The diplomacy gets done, because everyone believes the friendship. If the question is what this means for Camilla, the answer lies in the long view. Moments like today's come with the job description. The Queen's power is not in owning every frame, but in outlasting them. She is, by design, the still point. By week's end, other images will overlay this one, the formal procession, the state banquet, the private audience where the Queen's listening skills become their own quiet diplomacy. The internet loves a clip, monarchy survives a century at a time. For Kate, the day affirms a role she has been gradually re-inhabiting, frontline, photogenic, and unflappable. The remission note, never shouted by the palace, always present in public mind, lends each appearance a tone of resilience. Audiences respond to. For Melania, it's a reminder of how precisely she calibrates public poise. Her choice to meet Kate with speed and focus will be read in Washington as savvy. Amplify the most popular British royal woman to soften the politics of a second state visit. It's also just good manners. What remains is the question every state visit poses: who set the narrative? If tomorrow's papers and tonight's broadcasts lead on unity and polish, the palace won the day. If they lead on the Windsor glitch, the clip won it. Either way, the monarchy's work is repetition: the next appearance, the next handshake, the next orchestration. The garden steps will vanish into a longer reel, and only the most invested will remember the exact angles of the pivot. Still, Windsor has a way of preserving echoes. In the walled garden, the bricks hold stories: a queen in sapphire waiting half a heartbeat, a princess in pleats moving forward with purpose, a first lady whose turn became a headline. The men beside them will attend to policy and speeches, the women's moment will attend to the public imagination. In the end, that is part of diplomacy too, the silent accord that style, presence, and grace perform on behalf of nations. The image that matters most to the institution is the last one of the day: the party realigned, smiles level, pacing matched, the choreography restored. That is the frame Britain prefers to export: continuity, even when the script improvises. The Windsor glitch was real, and it was small. The rest is what the cameras decide to make of it.